with Zyna. Thank you guys for joining. I see we already have about 6 or 7 people on Zoom. Okay. Mr. Wole, welcome. Maureen Uju, welcome. Ibiemi Ogunlana, welcome, ma. Chukuna Someke, hey, barista, welcome. Welcome, Helen, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful brother's wife. Welcome, Judith, my sweet sister. Thank you for joining. Thank you. And I see Facebook people have already joined. Thank you guys for your support and for being here with me. I really, really appreciate your time. God bless you for your time. Okay? Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to go right into it. You all have been amazing. The support, the feedbacks, and everything I've been getting from you guys on this program has been so amazing. Thank you. I don't take your time for granted. I just want you to know I do not take your time for granted. Thank you so much. God bless you. If you're joining us for the first time, this is another episode of The Waiting Room with Zyna. Today is our 12th episode. Yay! Like play, like joke, eh? We are getting there. So this is our 12th episode. Last week was phenomenal. Though the network was not so favorable, but we thank God that we overcame. Yes, we did. So last week we had a guest, our very first guest on the show, and she came up. That's Lulu. That led her to the company she now runs, which is Precious Conception, which takes care of surrogacy, other fertility needs. That program that day, we saw the recording, it was so poor, we could not upload it. She did promise that she will come back on the show off our shooting time and, help another episode, which she did. In fact, I even thank God that the network messed us up because she took her time this time around and gave her all to the program. You need to watch it. I've been getting calls from people that watched it. In fact, that same day while she was online talking with me, the moment the show ended, I got calls immediately. Like, who is this lady? We talked about surrogacy, as you all may know. So I then told you that I was going to post the recording on the YouTube channel and of course everywhere, which we did Thursday morning, and some of you have watched it. If you have not, please do not waste any time after this program. Go and click and watch that topic on surrogacy. You will learn so much. Even if you are not in the waiting room, you will learn a lot for yourself and for the people that you might want to help and advice on this program. So again, welcome. Like my name is Zyna and I'm here as your host on this show. I'm also the author of The Waiting Room with Zyna. Don't forget, this book gave rise to this program. My 13 years of waiting, my 17 years of waiting until I wrote the book. I started writing that book, started noting things down, and then it started helping me. Then I decided to make it everybody's book and wrote it out and published it in 2018. And of course, the program has been blessing a lot of lives as I've been getting a lot of comments and feedbacks from people who are being blessed just watching. So welcome again. Today, I'm going to talk to you about adoption. Now, this topic, adoption, is not something I want to do just in one episode. So I'm going to start by talking about my experience, right? My experience in the adoption or the whole of adoption. I'm just going to talk to you today. I'm going to share my story, my adoption story. Then next week, I'm going to bring in a guest who will talk to you about how to go about, start from, who do I go to? So she works with the ministry, one of the states. She's going to talk to us adoption, how to go about it, where to go, and what to do when you start the journey. She's going to do that. And then someone else is going to come up. In fact, I have 4 more episodes, I think. Either 3 or 4 more episodes. It depends on how we are able to cope with the timing. If we can finish it in 3 episodes or 4 episodes, fine. Otherwise, it might span to 4 episodes apart from this. So we're going to bring 2 more or 3 more people talking to us on adoption from different areas. So do not miss next week. In fact, don't miss any episode of the Waiting with Zyna, because we're going to be bringing you different things you don't know about. Okay, and it's going to help you help the people that you love as well. So thank you and welcome. My story. Am I nervous? No, but a bit, when you want to talk about yourself and what you have gone through, especially when it's not testimony time, when it's not all sweet, sometimes you have that. I think I've had that because I've had to relieve some of the pains I went through while going through them and while preparing for this show. But God will help me. I'm just going to talk as much as God will give me utterance, and I'll share my story, okay? Okay, so no, I got married in 2003. Yeah. 2003, August 16th precisely. And of course, when you get married, what do you expect? They drum it into your head so much that once you get married, you just start expecting the child in the next 1 year. Of course, if you don't see any sign of pregnancy in 1 year, you begin to wonder what's going on. So that was what happened in my story. After waiting for a doctor. So when he asked us when we got married, we told him, he said, go back, go and enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your honeymoon. This is your honeymoon. So we went back. He said, see us 6 months later if you have not gotten pregnant yet. So we went back, and 6 months later, we didn't get pregnant. We went back to him, and then he started with us. Started with him, and he decided to do a lot of tests, and then found out that I had fibroid. I also had hormonal imbalance. I didn't know any of these things. This is another thing I would like to mention here. Before your children get married, for those of you that have grown-up girls, once they are 20, 21, 22, take them to the hospital, check them, make sure that everything is okay. And in case there's something wrong, you would be, in the know, and then you find a way to, start taking care of them or treating it. So by the time we went to the hospital and they started me on the drugs, hormonal imbalance drugs, and then he advised that he wouldn't want me to the fibroid immediately, that we should just wait. He had managed some people with their pregnancies, and we said, okay, fine. So he managed us with the pregnancy, with the fibroid, and the hormonal imbalance drugs were helping us to balance my hormone. But I think they also had an effect. I don't know if they did on the fibroid. I don't know, but I just know that after how long, we got pregnant in 20. Got married 2003, and then by 2006 we got pregnant. When we got pregnant, it was as if the fibroids were now growing on. I had every morning sickness you can talk about. Everything that happens to people who are pregnant happened to me. I was not eating, I was throwing up, I was underweight, I was losing so much fluid, I was sick all the time. I was placed on bed rest. I was always in the hospital on admission and stuff like that. At a time, I couldn't eat more than 1 slice of bread, and if I take that 1 slice of bread, it would take maybe 2-3 hours to digest. It was that bad. In my 7th month, I saw some discharge, and then I alerted my husband. We went to the hospital. The doctor said I was diabetic, and he was going to try to stop having the baby. So he tried to stop it, but he didn't have a pediatrician at the time. So he said he wouldn't want to take care of a premature baby in his hospital should the baby come by himself. He was a small clinic, but he was very good. He's a gynecologist and very good. And I don't think that my doctor has forgiven himself till now for that decision, for sending us to a big hospital. So we went to a teaching hospital in Lagos, and a very big one at that. And we got there, and we were admitted. My legs were put up. My legs were up for about 4 or 5 days, for like a week. Yeah, my legs were up. I was aided with the bedpan. I was bathed. I was fed in that position, like if you're in a bed, but your legs are higher than your head. All in the all of them was just to make the baby, stay back, because they said they couldn't do what they call class because of the fibroids and stuff like that. At the end of the day, they said I was still dilating and I had to have the baby. So when they told me I had to have the baby, that was not in January 2007. On the 16th of January. It was when we were in the delivery room that they ruptured my membrane and asked me to start pushing. Now, I pushed and pushed and pushed. The baby was not coming. They discovered that the fibroid had repositioned and blocked my baby by the shoulder. Long story short, they had me do a scan. I did a scan, and the scan came out. Now the doctors that were in that room, they were speaking in my language and my dialect and Igbo. No way this boy is going to die. It was a baby boy. And I was like, no way. After all I went through, after everything, so I kept my cool. Then one of them said, she's Igbo, right? I just kept quiet. I didn't say anything to them. Then they asked me if I heard them. I said yes. They asked me if I understood them. I said yes. They said, what do I have to say? I said nothing. Because I was like, well, you can't let this happen, like it's not going to happen. Long and short of it, they took me back to the delivery room. I must mention that in between room, they made me go down 2 floors down. Their lift was not working. They had a medical student, doctor, whatever, medical student, and a nurse bring me down. The gynecologist, the whatever, all of them just said to the lift, and the lift was not working. And I was asked to walk down. In between pushing. 2 floors down. Nigerian hospital. Teaching hospital. First pregnancy with fibroid. Troubled. How do I go back up? I'm meant to walk again 2 floors up. At the time we came out of that, so thing was happening, and he left his office. At the time he was working in Ibadan, and I started rushing down immediately. So he came, and I was just coming out of the scanning room, and he grabbed me and carried me, ran 2 floors up, back to the delivery room. And they were like, madam, you have to pray for God to help you to bring out this baby. There's no point us doing surgery on you now. Meanwhile, someone has suggested surgery, and they said no because my blood was very low and all of that. When things are happening to you and they're happening in seconds, your brain is not even able to process. I was not in that state because such a thing cannot happen to me now. I was much younger. I was naive. I was not even, what did I know about pregnancies and all of that? At the end of the day, that was how it was going to be. And all they said was, sorry, don't worry, another one will come. After 2 years of waiting and getting that pregnancy and going through everything I went through, I started waiting again. Thought of suing them, thought of so many things. Of course, sorry, I'm beginning to, I feel like tearing up, but I don't want to tear up because I'm trying to keep it together. So they, my husband said to just, leave it and move on. So we did move on, try to move on. Of course, I didn't move on. I mean, who moves on from such a thing? I couldn't move on. So I'm on my baby. I prepared for that pregnancy. I couldn't believe that happened to me. Well, we continued, and we went back to the doctor, who still hasn't forgiven himself for letting us go, because he was like, if he was with him, there was no way he would have allowed that to happen, because he kept checking in on me while I was in that so-called big hospital. So we left and then came back and then we're waiting and children. In 2007, so from that 2007 to 2008, we moved from Lagos to Port Harcourt. And in January 2009, like I said, the waiting continued. I wasn't getting pregnant again. We moved away from Lagos and went to Port Harcourt. Like January 2009, we said, okay, let's go do adoption, which is why we have this topic today. Went and applied with the River State government, but they said, of course, you have to wait for 5 years. You would have lived in a state 5 years. I didn't know. So you should have lived there for 5 years before you are eligible. So we left there. And application was not honored. Not live there for 5 years. So they said to come back after 5 years. And someone told me, my cousin told me, she had adopted her child, and one of her mother's cousins helped her while she was going through that. So she did recommend to me that why don't I talk to Auntie Ogechi and then see what she could do for us. So I called her up and told her what our challenges were. Now we're living in River State, which was very close to my state, because our lawyer was like, since River State will not grant you this request right now, why don't you go to your state? You are from Owerri. It's closer and you don't need 5 years if you are from a particular state. So I went to my state and process. We did all the registration and everything. And this Auntie Ogechi was helping us. Or so we thought. Then the story started changing. This was after how much money had gone into her hands. For some reason, she would encourage us to buy things. So we're coming. So we'll go. You know me, how I want to give. I will buy stuff. But for some reasons, these reasons I still don't know how she managed to do it. She will not go with us, or something will happen. We will just not get to those motherless baby sons together, and then she will promise us that she will, go and deliver them for us. So, oh God. This went on from that 2009 to 2010. 2 times we had a nearly experience with her. One time she had told us and all of that. We spent a lot of money, bought things and all that. We were supposed to go and pick up the baby, and then she called us and said the babies died. Oh God. I cried. Twins, she said they died. Then later, she came back and said they didn't die. Somebody from Germany came and adopted them. My God. So that was another shocker of my life. My husband was just like, calm down. We started again. We had gone to so many other places. We had gone to other homes. We went to one of the orphanages in Owerri. Then that one told us that we'll be number 5,000 and something. And he was like, in this place, people are waiting. There are people that have been waiting for 5 years. But I'm looking at children who are 8, 10, walking around. So I said, sir, you said people are waiting for 5 years? He said, yes. And you have children who are over 10, over 8, over 5. He said, yes. I said, so why are you not giving these children out? The man got angry. He was like, who are you to ask me that question? I said, but we knew that we were not going to get any child from him. So we went back to Auntie Ogechi, and Auntie Ogechi continued to siphon us like TM. One time, Auntie Ogechi, the baby has just been born. I said, okay, fine. So I'm calling to call his lawyer in Owerri that is supposed to correspond. Immediately I mentioned that this woman shut down. Like, we are bringing police, we are bringing lawyer, I said, no, ma. It's the same thing. We told you we cannot do this without a lawyer. We want to do it the right way. We have gone to the ministry, fill all the forms and all of that. Now we have a lawyer in Owerri that is going to go through all the processes for us before we get there. She stopped picking my calls. Next thing she called me and said I should not come again. I said, what happened? He said, yeah, she'll call me later. As I'm talking to Google and all of that, she didn't pick my calls again. Her husband was not picking my husband's calls. Okay, snap the orphanage home where this baby was born. She said her phone does not have camera. My husband said, write the name. Text a dream, like a joke, like someone was pulling like a prank, like it was a practical joke. That was it. After so much money, my husband called me and said, "You know what? This woman don't job us." You know the emotions that. You know what has gone into that planning. Do you know what I have gone through? At the end of the day, that was how we stopped picking our calls. You know what? I just deleted her number. I said, you know what? I mean, and then she went and told my cousin so many things about me that we were trying to accuse her, bringing police to her case. It was just a mess. Then it was later we found out that what they were doing, some of these people were doing, okay. So we decided to just forget about it. We said, okay, 2013, let's go and do IVF. I'm sorry, guys, this program is going to take more than 30 minutes. I should have warned you because, I mean, this is my story and I'm sure you want to hear it. So it's going to take us a little bit after 30 minutes. Okay, so fast forward to 2013. We went and did IVF. Came to Abuja. Then we were still living in River State. We came to Abuja for IVF. Did the first one, started the process. And they had harvested the eggs. Now I'm telling this story so that for those who want to go into this thing, I mean, open your eyes. Some hospitals are just sent from hell. Some of them are sent from hell. Ask questions before you go anywhere and exchange your money. Don't just hear IVF and go anywhere and pay them your money. Some of them are sent from hell, I can tell you that. Can you believe that after my eggs were harvested, I was called that it's been